Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty. Their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com. And by Hog Island Audubon Camp. For full camp schedule, program details, and to register, visit hogisland.audubon.org.
Welcome to our hummingbird-focused show number 1057, during which we'll get an update on one woman's quest to find and photograph every hummingbird species on the planet. We'll also listen to an audio postcard with a ruby-throated hummingbird in the mix, and we'll talk more about that hummer species. Where was I? We'll talk more about that hummer species as our featured feathered friend. And for something completely different, Mike O'Connor will talk about wild turkeys. Well, here's that audio postcard. It's from a special spot in Central Florida.
Good morning, Talking Birds fans. I wasn't planning to record, but I pulled up to my house here at 7:15 a.m. an early migration day, and the birds are just making lots of sounds. So at first I noticed the little flight call of ruby-throated hummingbird in his back, and then I heard a yellow-throated warbler chirping. Of course, the tufted titmouse who lives here is calling. I do hear the Carolina chickadee. A few moments ago, some newly arrived kingfishers were calling down by the lake. And I also hear a red-eyed vireo up in the oak trees. I just love fall migration. This is Kathy from Central Florida. Happy birding, everybody.
Happy birding to you. Thank you so much, Kathy. We love getting audio postcards. Folks love hearing them. And to make one, just grab a smartphone or borrow one from your neighbor and just record into there 30 seconds to a minute of what you're seeing or hearing. Simple as that. And then just send us the file. Send it to Ray at talkingbirds.com. There's no G in talking. That's Ray at talkingbirds.com. Here's a preview of our Mystery Bird Contest, a little thing we do every week and give away some nice prizes. Our prize, our bird this morning, is medium brown, black, and gray. Its relatives include the whippoorwills and common nighthawks. That color scheme provides excellent camouflage. It makes it nearly impossible to notice the bird in its open ground daytime sleeping spots. Our bird also has a white throat patch and white outer tail feathers that are visible at rest in males and in flight in both sexes. In the U.S., our bird is seen mostly in South Texas. It feeds on night-flying insects, sometimes catching prey on the ground, sometimes flying up to capture insects in the air. The male of this species sings at dawn and dusk through much of the year, sounding kind of like this. You heard one, you heard them all. They're kind of in the sound of this bird. And here's one weird clue. If our mystery bird were at a nightclub, it would likely be the copa. Just kind of a weird extra clue there for our mystery bird. And the contest features beautiful prizes. And this one, kind of extra special. It's the Brome Bird Care Mega 600 feeder with an extra large tube that holds nearly 2.5 pounds of seed. It's easy to clean and chew-proof and includes the Brome seed ventilation system that keeps the seed cool and dry. And because you shouldn't have to sacrifice style for comfort when out in the field, we're happy to offer a $25 gift certificate for Bird Collective, your one-stop shop for vintage-inspired apparel and unique accessories. all featuring birds. Prizes on our Mystery Bird contest. You heard the clue and the sounds of the bird. So that's the preview of the Mystery Bird contest, which will happen in just a little bit later. Here's another royal salute to one of the royalty members of our Talkin' Birds listening audience. That's our Talkin' Birds ambassadors, helping us spread the word about the wonder of birds and the importance of conservation. Thanks to Mamie from Seattle, Washington, who is also a plurder. She's picking up litter while birding. Mamie says that in addition to plurting, she also, if Baker, the big giant German shepherd, is birding with her, does something she calls poop-birding. I think we get it, Mamie, and we thank you for becoming a Talkin' Birds ambassador. I think it's a really good thing to do, but you don't have to take my word for it. Here's what Joanna has to say about it.
My name's Joanna Ferreira. I'm from Hillsdale, New York. I became a Talkin' Birds ambassador because I wanted to be a part of the movement. I just thoroughly enjoy the spirit, the intentionality of individuals who are out there appreciating nature, who are, flirting and picking up some trash along the way, which I think is completely awesome. And I mean, what's not to love about being part of such a great movement?
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joanna, for those beautiful words about becoming an ambassador. It is so easy to do. Just go to talkinbirds.com and click on the Get Involved tab up at the top of the page, and the rest is also easy, and so is being a Talkin' Birds ambassador. That's the Get Involved tab, top of the page at talkinbirds.com. Still to come today, Mike O'Connor will join us for a Let's Ask Mike segment, almost live from the archive, in which he helps a New Hampshire listener with her wild turkey problem. Plus, we'll welcome back Carol Turek for an update on her amazing hummingbird quest. And up next, we'll meet up with one of those hummer species as today's featured feathered friend, presented by the Bigger and Better BWD magazine, with each large format issue packed with beautiful photography, illustrations, and in-depth articles, ranging from backyard birds to birding abroad. Experience birds up close with BWD at bwdmagazine.com. A few old myths about today's featured feathered friend, the ruby-throated hummingbird, have long since been dispelled. One discarded myth was that they migrate across the Gulf of Mexico on the backs of geese. Another was that they will die if they stop flying. And yet another was that red dye in their nectar was somehow beneficial. Okay, we've dispensed with those. But some other folk fabrications about this bird and other hummers remain. That they only feed on nectar, for example, or that they only live for a year or two, or that feeding them in the fall will prevent them from migrating. We heard Mike bust that myth a couple of weeks ago. The ruby-throated hummingbird's diet does indeed include nectar. Skip the red dye, please. But according to entomologist Doug Tallamy, only 20% of a hummingbird's diet is nectar, while 80% is composed of insects and spiders. And they also feed on sap drawn from yellow-bellied sapsucker holes. More hummingbird truths come from the Journey North research team at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, which points out that hummingbirds have the fastest metabolism, not only in the bird world, but also in the whole of the animal kingdom, that they have a heart rate of up to 20 beats per second, and a resting body temperature of about 102 degrees Fahrenheit, and that they consume up to 3 times their body weight in food per day. That would be comparable to a human having a daily intake of 155,000 calories. The bird's average lifespan, by the way, is from 3 to 5 years,
in the Cornell lab reports that a female ruby-throated captured during a banding operation in 2014 was determined to be more than 9 years old when she was captured and re-released. The ruby-throated hummingbird, Archilochus colubris, today's Talkin' Birds featured feathered friend.
Welcome again to our show, number 1057. Well, Carol Turek is on a quest to find and photograph every hummingbird species on Earth, all in the Western Hemisphere, mostly Central and South America. When we first spoke with her here on Talkin' Birds back in June, she had found and photographed 270 hummingbird species. She since then has found and photographed more and gotten closer to her goal, and she joins us now for an update. Good morning, Carol.
Hey, I'm glad to be back.
Well, it's great to have you back. Thank you, and great to learn about what's new with your pretty amazing quest. And for those, Carol, who missed your first visit with us, I wonder if you'd tell us what spurred you to undertake this endeavor.
Well, I started off like many of your listeners in the U.S. Or in Central and South America, just by feeding them. And I fell in love with them, hung feeders, stayed at the window watching them. And then years later, I took up photography and decided I wanted to start photographing them. I photographed the ones around my house, but then got tired of that, went to other states, particularly Southeast Arizona, photographed their species. Then once I had most of them in the United States, I realized I was going to have to start traveling. And it just snowballed into, I have to photograph everyone.
Wow. What have I done here? Wow, it's just too amazing. Well, Carol, when we spoke in June, I asked you if you thought it was really possible to find every hummer species, and if I remember correctly, you said that you think it is possible, although some are found in some pretty dangerous areas. Any change in your view about that now that you've been out there so much?
No, my view's still the same. A lot depends on political situations where some of these birds are. Some of these birds have very, very small territories. You have to go to like a 40 square mile area to find a particular bird. And if that bird happens to be in the middle of where they're doing like coca leaf farming, you don't want to go there with a camera. And there are quite a few endemics in Venezuela now, and Venezuela is a little bit tricky for an American. So, political situations change. Nobody went to Colombia in the 80s because it was dangerous. Now it's like the premier birding destination in South America. So it's a waiting game for a few of them.
And I think fair to say you need to be pretty flexible to be doing something like this.
Absolutely. One bird I'm going to go for in April of next year is right in Darien, the Darien Gap in Panama. Now, that was unsafe as recently as a couple of years ago because the Venezuelan cartels were there with the migrants coming up from South America. But that area is now considered safe, so I can go after one of the hummingbirds that's in that area.
All right.
So things change.
So it's 270 species back in June. What is your number now, Carol?
276.
All right, 276. And heading for, this it gets a little complicated, but we'll just say roughly 366 species total that's out there is what we think, right?
Yes, that's what we think right now.
Well, for those of us who wish we could tag along with you physically and see all these marvelous birds, you provided us with the next best thing through your Hummingbird Spot YouTube channel. I just watched Hummingbird Spot number 4 and more breathtakingly beautiful video as you visited Great Inagua Island in the Bahamas, where you observed West Indian flamingos and burrowing owls. And you found the endemic hummingbird species you were looking for, right?
Yes.
What?
Yeah. The inaugural wood star can only be found on Great Inagua Island. It's the island most southern in the Bahamas. And it's not an island that's very well, it's not a touristy island. But that's where that bird, the inaugural wood star, was separated by the taxonomists from the Bahama wood star, and it is only on Great Inagua Island. It's a beautiful island. The Morton Salt Factory's there. That's the number one employer, and that encompasses a large area of the island. And that's why that's why the flamingos are there, because they eat the brine shrimp out of the settling ponds.
Well, Carol, I'm watching that video. I just want to say to folks, I'll recommend visiting your YouTube channel, Hummingbird Spot. These are just spectacular, beautifully produced videos. I mean, just absolutely gorgeous. You can find them there. Just look for Hummingbird Spot on YouTube, and you'll find these really spectacular, wonderful videos. So here we are, Carol, moving into early October in the Northern Hemisphere, and next in your quest?
Mexico. Mexico has many, many hummingbirds, and they have quite a few endemics. The only endemic Mexican hummingbird I have so far is the Xanthus hummingbird, which I was on a cruise ship, and it stopped in Baja, and I hired a birding guide to take me to the birds. So that's the only Mexican endemic I have so far, but there are many all over the country, and I'm going to go after many of them in late November, early December.
Carol Turek is on a quest to find and photograph every hummingbird species, and we can all be part of it thanks to those spectacular Hummingbird Spot YouTube channel videos. Just go to youtube.com, and look for Hummingbird Spot, and you'll find them. Carol, thank you, and good luck on the next leg of the journey.
Thank you very much.
Carol Turek here on Talkin' Birds. And up next, it's our Mystery Bird contest in just 1 minute.
The flutter of a tail feather, the flash of a wing bar in mid-flight. You don't always have a lot of time to identify a bird in nature, let alone to appreciate its beauty. But with Vortex Optics, you'll have the power to bring every wild moment closer. When you choose Vortex, you're choosing to have a partner in the field as passionate about nature as you are. Whether you're spotting old friends on the backyard feeder or packing for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to add a few species to your life list, Vortex offers a full range of optics and optics accessories for every birder and every budget. And whether the birds are taking you to another state or another country, you're always covered by the Vortex VIP warranty, an unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. If you'd like to learn more, or if you need help choosing your next optic, give Vortex a call at 1-800-4VORTEX or visit vortexoptics.com.
Our mystery bird sounding off there. Before we get into more detail on that, an important reminder, if you're not hearing our show live and would like to, so that you could, for example, enter our mystery bird contest, just go to talkinbirds.com. And you'll see how to do it there under the listen button. Our live broadcast, by the way, is on Sunday mornings, 9:30 to 10 Eastern. The medium brown, black, and gray plumage of our mystery bird, whose relatives include the whippoorwill and common nighthawks, provides such excellent camouflage that it's nearly impossible to notice in its open ground daytime sleeping spots. Our bird also has a white throat patch and white outer tail feathers, visible at rest in males and flight in both sexes. In the U.S., our bird is seen mostly in South Texas, where it feeds on night-flying insects, sometimes catching prey on the ground, sometimes flying up to capture insects a few feet in the air. Some clues there in the sound of our mystery bird and wonderful prizes, including that big, beautiful Brome Bird Care Mega 600 feeder, and $25 gift certificate for Bird Collective. All you need to do is call and tell us what that bird is or take a guess. No correct answer means a drawing determines our winner. And here's the all-important phone number, 781-837-4900. And I will give that number again in case you missed it. Here it is, 781-837-4900. Up next, we'll talk turkey with our own Mike O'Connor. It's Let's Ask Mike in just 1 minute.
Standing at the edge of a rocky shore, you breathe in the cool, salty air, watching the sun disappear on the horizon. Across the globe, someone begins their day along a sandy beach, listening to the rhythm of the crashing waves. You each envision a world beneath the water, vibrant life in every imaginable form. Now, imagine it's all gone. What was once a place of wonder and beauty is now a dull, lifeless wasteland. Food, jobs, medicine, all gifts from the ocean, all gone. Time is running out to protect our oceans, and without our love, everything the oceans provide can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our oceans. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
We're at the Birdwatchers General Store, and he is with us, as that music would indicate. Good morning, Mike.
Is that you, Andy Griffith?
Yep. Welcome to Mayberry, RFD. I just come back from Floyd the Barber, and got a nice little trim.
You and Aunt May, Aunt B.
Aunt B, good old Aunt B. Well, Mike, we heard from Janice up in Grantham, New Hampshire, and she has a little problem with wild turkeys. I mean, lots of people do, don't they? These turkeys apparently are chewing up Janice's lawn, and she would like them to be maybe a little bit farther away from her yard than they are right now. Any suggestions?
Well, I'm kind of the wrong guy to ask that, because I'd rather see turkeys in a lawn. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, the birds what I like to see. But some people want a repellent. There's really no repellent. Birds' sense of taste and smell is not really that strong in terms of repellent. It's more of scare tactics. Turkeys have a dominance factor, and if you go right at them, first of all, get rid of the food. If there's any kind of food, any reason for them to come to your yard, you've got to get rid of that right away, or at least temporarily stop that, because if there's no food, then they'll just come to your yard, and if they're poking around, you can go after them with a hose, or if you really want to wake up the neighbor's pots and pans. Some people use an umbrella, pop it up and down, but be relentless, and the turkeys will just say, okay, I don't need this crazy lady, I'll go bother somebody else's yard. But, look at that. There's a quick one, wasn't it?
Yeah, we are so short on time this morning. Sorry about that. I wanted to ask you about this coyote urine thing, but
stay away from that. That's just that urine comes from fur farms, and it's not nice for the animals, and it's really not effective in terms of birds. So yes, stay away from that too. Thumbs
down on the coyote urine solution.
Yeah.
All right, Mike.
All right.
Thank you, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds great.
One more time, back to the Mystery Bird Contest. Should we play the Mystery Bird again? I'll just play it just briefly, because it's not that... Well, anyway, here it is. That's probably enough right there. 781-837-4900 is the number. We have Jeff in New London, Connecticut. Hello, Jeff.
Hello. How are you?
I'm well, Jeff. How are you doing?
Doing well, thanks.
You heard our clues and all that stuff about the Mystery Bird, and you say what, Jeff?
The Antillean nighthawk?
Antillean nighthawk. What an interesting guess. Let me check and see if it's right. If it's not exactly right, but that's a top quality guess there, Jeff. So,
all right, thank you.
Thank you for that, and try us again. Antillean nighthawk, an interesting guess from Jeff. Not exactly the bird we were looking for, but, well, a similar bird for sure. Natalie is in North Carolina. Hello, Natalie.
Hey.
Hey, how are you, Natalie?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good to hear it. And let's see how you do on the Mystery Bird Contest. You heard the clues, etc. And what do you say, Natalie?
Well, I don't think I can pronounce it correctly, but a common paraquet.
That's pretty good. I think most folks say parake, the common parake. Parake
Okay.
is what we usually hear, but the important thing is that is the bird. Yes. Nicely done. The common parake, hiding out there in South Texas, almost impossible to see, hiding on the ground during the day when it's sleeping. Well, nice job on that answer there, Natalie. We also have a bonus question if you'd be interested, in which case we would award you, if you get this answer correct, a beautiful feather-friendly window protection kit. Would you like to try the bonus question?
Sure.
Okay, why not? Well,
Great.
here it is. This will be a multiple choice. The New England Aquarium, here in our hometown of Boston, recently began offering a new innovation for some members of their African penguin colony. Of what does this new innovation consist? Is it A, AI-designed burrows that mimic the ones penguins use in their native environments? B, inclusion of live fish into their habitat to let them replicate their natural feeding patterns? C, a retirement island separated from the younger penguins for its elderly members who need more attentive care and a slower pace of life? I think we have a D option, discounts at a local tuxedo rental store. That's for those sheesh. Anyway, there's a lot of options there. It's maybe too many, but what do you think about those there, Natalie?
I'll go with A.
A is AI-designed burrows mimicking the ones penguins use in their native environments. That is a reasonable assumption, but actually, it's a retirement island separated from younger penguins for the elderly members who need more attentive care and a slower pace of life.
Them.
That is, good for them is right. That is really, really something. We've come a long way in animal care, I think, haven't we? That's
sure.
Certainly one really good sign of it. Well, you've won our Mystery Bird contest in any case, Natalie. Do you want to tell us anything about where you are in North Carolina and birds and stuff like that?
Oh, in Durham, and I love watching, our typical backyard birds. But really, my grandma got me into it, and she passed away recently, so this is for her. Her favorite birds were the eastern bluebirds.
Yes.
And I love the woodpeckers. So
right.
Lots of awesome places to go birding here, even where you might not expect it in like residential neighborhoods and stuff. So keep an eye out.
All right, keep an eye out is right. Thank you so much, Natalie. Stay on the line, and Jesse will get your info there.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Natalie there in North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina. And she, by the way, correctly identified that common parake as our mystery bird. We are, guess what, out of time for this morning's show. Attention, Talkin' Birds listeners in Rhode Island who are hearing this edition of our show on or before October 5th. The Norman Bird Sanctuary will host their 51st annual Harvest Fair October 4th and 5th. They're in Middletown, Rhode Island. Details at normanbirdsanctuary.org. Thanks to our great Talkin' Birds team members, Debbie Bleacher, Freya McGregor, and our producing engineer, Jesse Wilkins. I'm Ray Brown, reminding you again that you can enter next week's Mystery Bird Contest no matter where you are on planet Earth if you listen live. And that's easy to do via the Listen tab at talkinbirds.com. Thanks for listening, and see you next week.
The Bird Show, I like that.
Ray Brown's Talkin' Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty. Their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com. And by Hog Island Audubon Camp. For full camp schedule, program details, and to register, visit hogisland.audubon.org.